Hello everybody, and welcome. So, you may notice, if you've been watching me for a while, you're not sat in the middle of the frame. No, I'm not, because this little guy back here is having its day in the spotlight. You see, this tablet is allegedly pretty good, but it has a blown battery. I've been trying for weeks to get it to triple charge, with no such luck. Now, this is the Dragon Touch Max10. It's a cheap, generic Android tablet. Some of you may own one of these. It's a decent bit of hardware, but parts are not easy to find. And this battery that I'm going to be replacing in this unit today, the replacement one, hails from China. Shenzhen, China, we love you so much. Because, well, I just couldn't get it from anywhere else. I have been looking for almost a year for a replacement battery, and she's finally arrived. So, with that out of the way, let's move over to the desk. So, package contents, one battery and some tools, which is going to be handy. Just means I don't have to get my own tools out. We'll see how good they are. Right, there's one thing to note before we get in. This came with a little guy, so I think I'll give him to my partner. She likes silly little trinkets like that. And we've also got some adhesive strips to stick down the battery. There's our silly little guy. He's awesome. And there it is, the elusive Dragon Touch Max10 replacement battery. Now, I did find other units online, and I will confess I was almost tempted. This was very cheap, actually. It was only £10, but it had to be this one. And the reason for that is this one has 5 wires. The rest of them, whilst they measured up and all the specs were the same, they only had 3 wires. And frankly, the laws of physics does not take kindly to those who disobey. So I thought I'd be best off getting the 5-wire setup, just so I know that it will be able to handle all of the current we need to throw at the tablet. And lastly, tools. Now, a word of caution, knife. Yeah, we're going to need that to get in, unfortunately, because there are snap tabs here, 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 here. And this is not an easy job, and it's not for the faint of heart. So I will try my best to do this carefully, but I will strongly urge you, if you can't do this yourself and you're not comfortable, get an experienced technician to do this for you. It can be dangerous. And, you know, we are poking things with knives. So like that. Right, so that's in. Now we take our plastic pry tool, and another word of caution as well, you're going to damage the plastic doing this. I really did not find a plectrum thin enough to be able to get in there with the leverage that I needed to pop the case apart, so this is really the only way that I'm going to be able to do it. Someone else may have a better suggestion, and if you do, leave it in the comments, and I will pin it to the top for everyone to see.
I've come upon this quicksand.
So we're in there, like that. Now, I'm going to come around to the other side.
There's nothing.
It's in. Pop that up. Now just run this along the seam, break those clips open, like that.
And I keep sinking deeper.
Go.
Keep slowly sinking deeper. And calling out, hoping someone might be near. Hey, does anybody know I'm here? I fought in battles I didn't start, suffered from head to toe. The will to live now destroyed.
There we go. Right. Someone's been in here, and someone is me. So far, we have not had to use a screwdriver once. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the tape and be very careful to not pull on the connectors. We're not going to be wanting to pull any components off the board. We don't want to damage it more than it already is. Careful about this ribbon cable, don't rip it or else you will never get a replacement. And lift up on this little flap here. Carefully remove the ribbon cable, and we'll do the same on the other side. Very careful to lift up that retaining flap. And just slide the cable up and out. And lastly, the battery needs to come unplugged. And if you like to, we can use the plastic pry tool just to edge that on out, like so. And lift it. Now, the battery is going to be glued down, so I'm going to need a plastic card and a bit of heat. Now we're just going to turn that off because I just want it to be warm. I can still very easily touch this. I just don't want to overheat the battery. So, I've got my Truckatoon card there. Just slide that under the battery, just like so. Just to cut the adhesive that is around it. And we will discover that it was genuinely just double-sided taped on. So I'm going to peel up all of the remaining adhesive. There's not much, just a little bit that's still left behind, so I'm just going to get rid of that so it doesn't cause any problems if I need to remove the battery in future, although I don't like the prospects of this device's long-term repairability. We are also working on the back of the LCD screen right now, so I'm just being careful not to apply too much pressure as I'm taking this off, because the last thing I want to do is crack this incredibly hard to find panel. So yeah, we're not going to be doing that today. Okay, so I've put on just the one. It just makes my life a little bit easier. Let's pull that tab out there, just so that in the future it will make removing the battery a little bit easier. So that goes on there, something not too dissimilar to that, just like that. There we go, let's push it down, make sure it's all nice and secure, nice and snug there, she's not going anywhere. And we can get the battery plugged in to the board. So, got to plug the cable in. This is a bit of a balancing act, but they did not make these things very easy to repair. Shock horror. So, cable is slid in to its connector, and I'm just going to flip it on down like so. There we go. That's not going anywhere. Now the red wire plugs in on the right, kinda like that. There we go, like that. And we will get that tucked up and out of the way, like so. And lastly, the display flex goes into its little plug socket there. Oh, this is fiddly. Oh, that's fiddly. And clip it down. Awesome. Right, so let's tape her up. I can't believe that I'm actually putting electrical tape on a device after I've repaired it. This just feels a bit sacrilege, but I promise that this is how it came from the factory. So I'm just following the manufacturer's guidance here. Well, guidance. There never were any iFixit guides available for the Dragon Touch Max10. And, well, there we go. That is, repaired. So, let's pop the case back on. Now, when we took it out, the buttons fell out. They always do. So we need to make sure that those are back in place before we try and put the back on. And there's another thing to note, and I'm going over here because we need a little microfiber cloth, this little guy. And what we're going to do is just clean, and yeah, if you're wondering, it is on. It's powered on, working beautifully, I might add. So we're going to clean the camera lens. Just clean out that little lens hole there, just to make sure that any of the dust that may have fallen inside while we were working just doesn't interfere with the operation of the camera. So, pick up some of that dust. Looks smashing, right. And now we're going to do the same for the camera itself. So and we have to be really careful here, so let's just dab that. Dab, 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 dab. And now I'm going to take the back and put it back together. So button goes in like so. Button goes in like that. And then we have to make sure that when we close it all up, the USB-C port lines up with its hole, because if we don't, it might get snapped off. So I'm going to make sure that is lined up, just like that. And back together she goes. And just like that, one functioning Android tablet. So, that concludes the end of this video, but I am considering taking this out now as a review sample. Although you can't buy it anymore, people may be interested just to see what it's like. So yeah, if this video was entertaining and fun, can't imagine why it would have been, but if it was, rate 5 stars and share on all of your favourite social media platforms, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, and MySpace and Club Penguin. Thanks, bye!